Welcome back, everyone. My name is Chris, and this is going to be the back nine for Zilker Park Disc Golf Course in beautiful Austin, Texas. The back nine was installed 2 years after the front nine in 1989, so there's going to be a lot of different styles that go into this and a little bit more length to each of the holes. This course is one of your old school figure 8 courses, so hole 10 is going to start right next to the parking lot at 347 feet. And right off the bat, you can tell that the ceilings are a little bit lower here, and hole 10 is noticeably longer than the majority of all the holes on the front nine. There is a road that plays OB on the left side. I believe UDisc says it's the road and sidewalk. So as you're coming down this fairway, kind of keep that in mind. You don't want to get anything on too much of an angle so that it could possibly skip into the road. There's trees over here to the right side as well, so if you turn something over, you're likely to hit one of those big trees that'll stop you in your place. The upshot here is not too bad, it's pretty straightforward, but as you get closer to the basket, it kind of funnels down to the basket itself. Moving on to hole 11, this is one of the funner shots that's on the backside actually. It's a short hole coming in at 236, but it's a nice little forehand shot or lefty backhand that's pretty straight, or even a righty backhand. You do have a natural wall of trees on the left side of the fairway, and as you get closer to the basket, you'll notice this big guardian tree that has really low hanging branches. So if you throw a putter or a mid-range or anything that kind of glides right underneath, you're likely to skip all the way up to the basket. If you come in a little bit too hot though on edge, you can skip and kind of roll on the back side of it just a little ways. If you pull it a little bit too far to the left of the basket, you can also get caught in that bigger tree. Hole 12 is possibly the slickest and the loudest tee pad on the entire property. If it gets any kind of wet, you'll notice, so be sure to mind your footing whenever you're standing on this tee pad, along with the grate that's directly in front of it. This is a 257-foot, slightly uphill shot. Take something, a mid-range or a fairway driver that pushes, that's not too stable, and hug either the left or the right side of this tree slightly. It'll stable up as it gets up the hill and skip towards the basket. If you go too far left or too far right, you have to mind these two larger trees here. And there's also logs that help hold the mulch in that'll stop your disc if you drive it into the ground. Hole 13 kind of plays down the right side of the hill that you just came up on the previous hole. There's two lines, either to the right or to the left of the main tree that's right down the center of the fairway here. The left side is a lot more open and you can kind of push farther down to the base of this little gully. But if you take the right side and you keep it nice and flat and push this tree line as far as possible, the disc will fade out and trickle down towards the basket as well, giving yourself a shot for two. If you take the left side, you have to mind how high you keep the disc so that you can filter and push through off the mulch chips towards the basket. The ground play here is pretty good. Hole 14 is a very straight shot. The only thing that you want to make sure that you don't do is end up to the left of the basket. The right side has one big tree to miss, down closer to the basket around circle's edge. But other than that, it's a very open shot that you can pull to the right slightly and not have any problems. But if you end up on the left side, you're more than likely not going to have a putt. Hole 15 is a little deceiving. There's two right trees on the right side of the fairway, and the right of those two trees is a mando to the left. So it forces you to throw out towards the middle of this fairway, but the basket is pushed around pretty far to the right side. You can either go forehand if you're a right-handed person, or a lefty. You can just throw a big flat to hyzer shot. The only problem with it is if you want to get to the basket, you need to have something that turns and has a glide to it that'll push through this tree line and give you a chance at the two. Hole 16. This one is pretty wide open, and the only thing that you really need to make sure to miss is the one big tree in the center. There's a big bush that's to the right of that big tree, and if you aim straight at that and fade a little bit to the left, you'll more than likely give yourself a putt. This hole typically plays into a tailwind, so anything that you throw is going to stable up just a little bit. The exact opposite of 16, you're going to have 17 at 320 feet. That is 99% of the time throwing straight into a headwind. To the left side, there's an OB line that's marked by these stakes. And if you turn over to the right side, those little trees that are over there will more than likely leave you trapped without having an upshot or a chance to run the basket whatsoever. So whatever you do throw, make sure you have a little bit of stability on it so it can push straight all the way to the basket and hopefully give yours a chance for a 2. Hole 18, 311 feet, plays slightly downhill directly towards the parking lot. If you put something that's nice and flat right down the middle of the fairway, keep it straight, let the disc fly downhill and glide to the left, should give yourself a chance for a 2 without any problems. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, and as always, keep chasing those chains and come back for the next one.